I want to thank you for taking your time to sit down with me and to do this. This is a project that I'm working on that I want to try to get as many expats as I can that I'm close to, that I know, and just talk. And then the people in our community will see this because we come around all the time. We see each other a lot of different places. Like the guys you met last night.
Sure.
They've seen you 100 times, but they've never stopped to say anything.
That's true. That's
right?
true. Yeah, we're all so busy, right?
But no. Listen, I came here. I used to come here to swim in the morning, and I did that for about a month. And the first week I came, I noticed there'd be about 15 guys that would come at the same time. We get here first thing in the morning, 5:45, park, and they would stand there before the doors open at 6:30. And they'd be standing right there, no one saying a word to each other.
5:45.
Yeah, that's the time it opens for swimming.
Oh, for swimming, okay.
Only for swimming. So I was swimming at that time.
Okay.
So I came and watched these 15 guys stand around, not looking at each other and paying attention to anything but each other, and not saying anything. So I decided to start talking to them.
Sure.
Well, lo and behold, 2 weeks later, little pockets, because everyone knew. They'd seen each other for years,
Sure.
never said a word. And I was going, come on, we're others here.
Sure.
Everyone becomes an other when you come here.
Sure.
Even the Japanese that belong to the expat community, they're others. So when you get in that environment, we need to bind, get together. And this is my way of trying to do that.
Okay.
Abi, and I really appreciate you. Like I said, I appreciate you doing this. I can't say it enough.
No problem.
Right off the thing. I mean, I know I have a little something over you. But still, you have to go into that.
Yeah, she's besotted with gymnastics. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, she's besotted with gymnastics. She's tumbling every day and doing all kinds of stuff. So yeah. You're talking about my daughter, right?
Of course.
Yeah, sure.
That's the thing. Yeah. What else?
Yeah, she loves it. She loves it. She really does. So thanks. Yeah.
So listen, the last time we met was before you joined, just before you joined. So how long have you been a member here?
Oh my God, I don't know. At least 3 years, maybe four.
It's been more than that. But
maybe four.
With this coronavirus thing, it seems like it's
a
decade or so, doesn't it? It seems like we're never gonna get right.
I don't know. You want to open that door? The virus
Not
thing.
really, not really.
It's I met a friend the other day, and when I got home, I was just like, "What did we talk about?" It was just COVID this, COVID that. It's like, oh.
When you go home, where? What are you talking about?
No, when I went home, when I went down to Midtown to see a friend.
Okay.
And I took my bike, so I rode back home, and then I got home, and I was just like, what did we talk about? It was this virus, that, the whole, what's the point? You're meeting up with people if all we talk about is the virus, right? Right?
Talk to me.
I mean, it's just
because
dominating everything.
You're right, because we want to socialize, but that wasn't the only thing dominating thing also. But you're not a U.S. citizen.
No, I'm British.
You're a British citizen, okay. But your ethnicity is?
I'm 100% Nigerian,
Well, how do you become
Yoruba.
100%? I mean, listen, everybody's 100% African. We know that.
Wow.
Well, I mean, everyone came from Africa. But I know, I understand the tribal thing, yeah. I told you that I did my DNA not long ago. And
That's very interesting, that is, yeah.
It is. And I was going to bring it to show. That's not what I want to do right now. But my mother's side, Nigerian, and it's like 97% Nigerian. On my father's side, 100%, because it's father to son, father to son, father to son. He's the Y chromosome. 100% Ghanaian.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
but you've got a long face.
Well, no.
So that's more north.
But don't forget, I also have European. Well, see, the thing is, the truth is, all of us. I heard someone say not long ago that they don't believe in the DNA, because the fact is, where do you say that you're of what? Since we're all from Africa.
Well, we're all originally from Africa.
So I mean, it's just a matter that if you want to trace it, like, what do I say? Do I stop at the Irish part?
That's true. Yeah.
Do I stop at the Asian part?
That's true.
Because it all started from one area.
Sure.
And since it did, as we adapted to those areas, our features also adapted.
Sure.
But the base was, even if we were planted by aliens, they did not put us in a cold climate because we wouldn't have survived.
Sure. That's true.
I don't think we were building houses and stuff like that.
Sure.
So no matter what you believe in, evolution or we were planted here, I believe that we started to adapt. And we know that as a fact, even our chemistry inside, if we don't get enough vitamin D, we start having bone problems.
Sure.
and a lot of other stuff. And did you know that African Americans, people with more melatonin in their skin, are lacking in vitamin D, like you and I when we come to areas like this? That's why you should take the supplements.
That's true. Yeah, well, it's lack of sun, right? So,
That's right. So you can't get enough of it. They say 5 minutes a day, but basically I take vitamin D. And it's also, they say that's supposed to be good against corona.
Yes.
And zinc.
Trust me. We're fed 2 or 3 tablets a night.
You did 2 or 3 tablets?
Yeah, my wife's got a whole bunch of supplements. That
because I do
gives
D
us.
and I do zinc, and I'm looking into some other stuff now, but those two. And
You know that company, iHerb, right?
Yeah.
They must be killing it right now.
Any supplement company, I'm telling you, they should be.
I wish I was in there right now.
So what do you do spending your time, man? What do you do to with your days, basically? I know that you...
basically I'm in e-commerce. So, but I sell physical products. So I import them from South America. I've been trying to get them from Mexico, but right now just mainly Ecuador. And import, and then all the logistical headaches around the importation and warehousing. And then, how far do you want me to go into? I could go
just talk. Just like I said, it's just a general thing. This is, believe me, I'm not trying to interview you.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just, what's this?
Well, it all started, it all started from the fact that I love being in Japan. And I'm very fortunate that my wife also loves being in Japan too. So that's me squared away. But then I thought to myself, there's no plantain in Japan. And for whatever reason, I went to Nigeria when I was about 7, 8, maybe 9. I just fell in love with these things. And, I can get them in England.
Yet, man. You keep on
actually, I bought you some because I knew this would probably come up.
But I don't know how to do it.
Well, you can, come on, man.
Fry it, you said fry it. I don't.
Well, you don't fry. So I probably don't think you should fry them. You should bake them. Just bake them.
Bake them, no?
Yeah, you can bake them. Well, all you have to do is just take off the edges. You just slice down so you can peel them, and then
you told me
just slice them.
This is not banana family. This is more potato family. You told me.
Well, no, they are bananas. They are technically bananas,
okay.
But they are, the greener they are, the more they're consumed like a potato.
Right. Okay.
Right. And then as they get riper in this situation, in this kind of color, they turn into a more sort of sweet.
I was trying to bring you something too, but I got you water instead.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll survive. Yeah, but I knew this would come up, so this is what I do, and
this is one of the things you do. No, the most important thing you do is you have a beautiful family.
Yes, I got that.
You make sure that you're present there and all the time with them.
And that's
this is just what you do to make sure you have keep yourself interested.
That's correct. That's correct.
Since you couldn't have your kids yourself, this is how I look at it.
Yes.
As men. Our children become whatever business we're doing, because we don't have any discomfort whatsoever when our kids are born.
Absolutely none. Well,
emotionally.
To some degree, but nothing like what
tell me about it, what our spouses go through.
Nothing like that.
And I think our true children, not that we don't love our children, are our business, because we would go through almost anything to keep it going.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Let someone threaten this.
Yeah. Well,
it changes. That's your only baby. That's your baby.
Sure.
So you feel about your business the way your wife feels about your kids. She'll turn on you.
Oh, God, yeah, I know that.
But then let somebody mess with your business.
Yeah, for sure.
You'll say, I'm sorry, baby. Yeah. Nice, we got kids, but this is my business. Absolutely. It's hard. That's the only thing we have to hold on to. And the more you put into it, the more you get a semblance of what it's like to be a mother.
Sure.
This is our baby, man.
Yeah.
I remember when you came and talked to me at the beginning, you started to show it around.
Yeah,
we took you around and stuff. And I said, well, let me
and I'm still on the case.
I said, let me see. But you know what I mean? But you will never get off the case. Does a mother ever stop being a mother?
No.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, so it's just weird. I just felt, like when I got to Nigeria,
all these are mine, right?
Yeah, you can have all of those. It's Africa, so, I grew up in England. You could buy sweets, you can get your snacks, I still remember back in those days, I used to always take like 3 pence, maybe like a nickel or whatever, to school every day, and I could buy snacks and, all those type of things. And When I got to Nigeria, I just couldn't, that wasn't the situation there, and I guess to some degree it was kind of traumatic. I was just like, okay, 1 minute I'm in the UK, and then next minute I'm in Africa, Nigeria, and an unknown environment, and none of those comforts that I was used to.
Wait, how old were you when you did this?
I was about, let me see exactly, I would have been about 8 going 9.
Oh, so this was with your family?
Yeah, we all went back.
You went there to live there?
Yeah, we all went back. Our dad took us all back. It wasn't a great idea at the time, but yeah, he was determined to take us back.
What was the reasoning behind that? Why did he want to do that?
He was one of, how do I put this? His generation, they were one of the first to get like these bursaries, if I remember, if that's what they call it, where the Nigerian government gives them scholarships.
Okay.
To go to the motherland.
Right. Trying to get their people, their really high...
The high achieving students.
To bring them back.
No. He was one of those that went to the UK. So he went to the UK.
But he knew he was going to come back.
Yeah, but there was always that option of, why do you, let's just kind of stay here, so that a lot of people would lean in that way, like, look, what's the point in going back? But between pride, being, one of those first few that went on full rides to the UK.
Felt obligated.
Maybe, I guess, part of his obligation. Another part of it is there were good jobs waiting for them back home, good government paid jobs, so. And, you went back, you were a bigwig, right?
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
Wow, you've been to the motherland, you've come back, so. But for us, like, we're kind of nice here. We're good here. Can we kind of stay here?
All your friends.
Yeah, you losing all your friends.
So you hadn't been going back. You had never been there.
No, it's the first time, and it was root and branch kind of.
Just right away. Yeah. No time to.
No.
So all of a sudden you're the strange kid.
Oh God, yeah, it was rough. it was super rough.
That's interesting.
It was super rough, and one of the comforts I found.
Okay.
When all said and done with these things, I could go to the market, I could buy them, I could make snacks for myself.
But you'd already done that in England.
No, because I was too young. I never cooked when I was in England. Parents always cooked, but when I got to Nigeria, it was like it really was like you're on your own here now. You really have to figure it out. You literally dumped.
It made you a man.
Yeah. It was like, so I just go to the market and buy these things and make them, and and so it was one of my comforts.
So tell me, how would I make it? Because that's one thing I want to know. Because I'm gonna take them home.
I mean, frankly speaking,
it's just me and my wife. So
yeah, I mean these are good for. I mean, you can do anything with them. Like peel these ones. These are a little bit more difficult to peel because it's very starchy.
What I do with my bananas, I just cut it like this, then I peel it open.
Yeah, but with this, I would probably say maybe use a spoon or something to sort of help loosen up the skin. They're very crisp. It hugs the pop way more. Whereas with these, once you take the edges off and you slice it down, it just kind of.
But this time
come
you'd
off.
have to scoop
This
it
one
out.
you'd have to scoop it out. Right. This one here, I don't know. You can Google like.
Oh, that's right. What am I thinking about? I got
sopa. Latin Americans use
I can do
soups.
YouTube too.
Yeah, I
mean,
mean.
that's what I'm thinking about. How to make it. Yeah.
I mean, like in East Africa, they feed these to young children. They make soups.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say like if I want to eat one today, would I eat just one, or would I have half of one?
You wouldn't finish the whole lot, so I would say I would say maybe just cut it into
because what I do with my bananas, they didn't have a banana day. I cut it in half.
You can cut it in half,
and I eat half of it for breakfast, but inside a mixture, I slice it up.
You slice it up. You can. In fact, the other day, what we did is that we microwaved them. If you slice them into small pieces, you can microwave them.
And you made chips?
If you want to make them into chips, you slice the whole fruit, and then you just maybe. Well, you can go either way. You can go like this, but I prefer to go diagonally, and you just slice them. Little bit of salt on it, and then maybe toss in a little bit of olive oil or
Yeah,
whatever
always
oil
have
you
my
want.
olives, yeah.
Shake them up, and then get like oven paper.
Uh-huh.
Put them on oven paper, and then put it in the microwave for about 10-15 minutes. Till you can get them nice and you're looking at about 150 degrees, till you get that nice chairo, like brownish, caramelized. Oh my God, they're delicious, and we've got them in the snacks as well.
Are they really sweet?
These are sweet, but they're not hyper sweet.
Okay.
But as they mature, then the sweetness intensifies. Yeah. So this is probably the best stage.
Right. But this stage would be what?
This is like a potato stage.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
They're really complicated.
I'll do YouTube, and sit down and try to do this.
And my customers are
loving it, huh?
Crazy. And I'm chased all over the internet.
You started. When did you first get your? Because when I first went 3 years ago.
No, it's more than that.
See, thank you. So it had to be.
Because you was still president at that time.
That was 2012.
Yeah, he was still president at that time. So
that'd be more than. Wait,
that's when I started. Actually, 2012 is when I actually bought my first container.
That's 8 years ago. Because you bring in your first container. It hadn't even come yet. But you had small samples.
And I had these. Yeah. Right. So that would have been when we started to get them directly from Ecuador. Yeah.
Right.
Because there's a variety in the Philippines that we were using, but it's not quite the same. Okay. It's a little bit, it's a bit acidic. Okay. In flavor, so I was determined to get that from Ecuador.
Right.
Anyway.
So from the time you started years ago till now, like how much do you feel, are you satisfied with it? Well, of course you can always grow more, like I said.
You can always grow more.
You can always, there's never
you know the
because once you get there, then it looks better.
Well, not to hype on Corona again, but like,
that had to put a stint in it, yeah.
Yes, but it's something weird's happening. Something weird's happening out there. I think, like with this product, if you're Latin American or African, you've never bought this product online. Never. If you come to Japan, if you've eaten this in Africa or in the United States or in the UK or France, whatever, you've never purchased this online. Okay. You can, like in France, maybe a little bit in UK, but most Africans will never buy it online. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But then you come to Japan,
they want to see it themselves.
Right. It's something you go to the store and you touch it and you go, okay, I'm going to get those.
Fruit. If you don't want to,
there you go. There you go.
You would never take a chance.
Right. But so the reluctance that we first hit was that. Very few people who want to buy online, right? But with Corona, people have
want to stay away from people.
They want to stay, so they've completely flipped. So now they're completely happy with buying things online. So that reluctance has disappeared.
Isn't that
it's completely disappeared.
See, for every door that shuts, another one opens.
That's correct.
One person's trash, another person's gold mine.
That's correct.
Use all those. Yeah. Antidotes people use. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, people are really reluctant.
That's another good reason to go online. For whatever you.
Online is the way to go.
But listen, I tried to teach my program online.
Okay.
I tried to do it through Zoom.
Okay.
And I had like 15 kids. It's something you'll have to get used to. Now for the kids, that's all they know.
They're used to it.
It's just like you being. No. Not that they've learned to do it online. This is part of their life. It's like you at 8 years old going to Nigeria. That's the way you grew up. That was your life. Yeah. So it's not like you don't know what it was ever like to just go all the way through. So that was part of your life.
That's true. That's interesting.
See what I'm saying?
But then
so the kids will adapt real quick.
But they need.
No, the thing I found is this, and the thing it could be better. Since we have to wear these masks, and I'm teaching like this now. Now I know they're coming out with clear masks. I like to be expressive because I teach with my face. Kids can't see this.
That's right.
They can see this. Now what's going to happen, I think, with kids, if we have to continue to wear masks and they don't become clear, they're going to be able to read your expression through your eyes. You and I will have a hard time.
That's right. Because the kids will adapt faster than
they're doing it right now.
Yeah.
So I took my mask off the other day, and because I went with the kids, and they said, "You look so different, Mr. Lee, with your mask off." They had forgotten what I looked like with it off.
That's true. They adapt way faster than we do.
Because they just take it and they said that's what it is.
Well, so yeah, I was talking to someone else the other day. We said like it's really difficult to recognize people with their masks on.
Not for kids.
And, but in our head, we've just shut down. I can't recognize them, so okay.
You don't even try to.
You don't even try to. But with the kids, they just
can see. They know. They look at you. They're looking at more than just your eyes. They're looking at your movement. Because don't we do that with our kids? Like I remember I had my kids at school here, and I couldn't tell them from the back. I'd have to watch them move. I said, "Oh, there's my son." I couldn't say it, and I felt so bad.
That's interesting.
Especially in summertime, they were blending in, and I was going, "Wait just a minute. I can't tell which one's mine."
Oh God!
And your wife, you know your wife. You could see her in a crowd, but you'd have to see her movements. If she's walking away, you know that's your wife.
Yeah, I can tell my wife.
But but you understand, not if she was with other people who look like her, but you could tell her movements.
In Japan, for sure.
Right, but you
understand, outside Japan,
of course, yeah, you could, yeah. But see, I'm saying you start seeing movements and other little things that you know that's that person. There's things we do that we're not aware of that would make us distinguishable to people that observe us.
That reminds me of when I was in Hawaii. I became really interested in Asia, and then I realized that if you study body language, you can tell the difference between Japanese and Koreans.
No, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Not just that, and Chinese.
Yeah.
The three major groups here. And I don't say that Filipinos because you can tell them by their look.
Yeah, Filipinos you can tell.
And
from
Indian,
the look,
you know, you go to India. But the Chinese, Koreans, and Japanese, there's not only just their movement, their dress too, but now people are starting to become homogenous in their dress. And it's harder to tell. It's harder to tell. Because I used to be able to tell easily Africans between African Americans here. Because I came at a time when you had very few. If they were here, they were scholars.
That's true.
The only people here in the 70s when I came here. Wow. You didn't see any African. As a matter of fact, the group of African Americans would get together, and if we had an African person there, they would be a scholar or something, and when he spoke, everyone would be quiet to listen. No, I'm serious. That's the way it was, because they wanted to hear what he had to say. And he knew he had the room. He just knew he had the room. All of us were business people. All of us had educations. Well, I shouldn't say me, but most people had educations. And when he'd speak, everyone wanted to hear his perspective, because it was new to all of us, right? But now then, you see more Africans in Japan than you see African Americans, because most African Americans were in the military if they were here at all. They were in the military at that time. And now there's few of them that are being sent here. Just like there's fewer expats being sent here to do business. Like when I first came here, international schools, all white basically. And you had a few Asian people. Now you go to Sacred Heart, where your daughters are, right?
Yeah.
All Asians. They're really in the minority. But for people of color, they were always in the minority. Here, in the expat community basically, over here in Asia, we've always been in the minority. But the thing I like about being over here, the thing that's kept me over here all this time, and I heard this term used and I like it. If you are an expat, you become other. And for most people, French, German, American that are white, they've never experienced being other.
Oh yeah.
But if you're black and not from Africa, if you're black and not from Africa, or from any country where you have people that look similar to you and you're of color, you've lived in a society always as other.
Alien.
Always alien. You've always been that. So come over here, it became equal.
Absolutely, yes.
I said, wait, you mean to tell me if I'm getting a traffic ticket, I'm going to be treated the same way as any other foreigner?
Basically, yeah.
And if you're nice, maybe a little bit better.
If you're nice.
And, humble and don't have an attitude.
In the weirdest way, I mean, for people of color, Japan is actually an equalizer.
If you know how to work it.
But we know how to work it. I mean, come on.
But we talked about that the first time we were here, because I always like to talk to my people and let them understand when you come here, and even like joining the club, joining the American club. When you do that, my emphasis to you, telling you to do it, was for the same reason, but more than anything else, for your children, because you're putting them with their peer.
That's true.
And they will have access to that all the time. One example that I say happened with me with my 4 sons. Lance was getting ready to go to Dubai for the first time.
Okay.
I had never been to the Middle East. And I'm thinking, but I know people there. I have friends that have been here that are living there now. So I'm going to hook them up. He said, that's okay, Dad. We go to Narita. And I said, I'm going to do it anyway. We go to Narita. This tall, handsome-looking Arab guy with a beautiful Arab girl, my son's age, come walking towards my son, and he said, Lance, hugged him, and I'm saying, and dressed like, dressed like that age and everything, hug Lance, and he said, well, you on your way to Dubai? I said, so wait, what flight are you on? Such and such, when you were going on a different flight. He said, when you get there, he said, yeah, of course. He said, Lance said, Dad, that's the guy I'm telling you about that has a black card. His family's extremely wealthy. And I'm going, uh-oh. It's like arm wrestling your son, and he beats you. You don't want to do that anymore.
Wow.
You want to keep your son. He blew me away. And then, to add even more to that, he said, Dad, let's go to Dubai. I said, all right. This is a couple of years later. We went to Dubai last year, year before that, because we've been to Dubai, we've been to Amsterdam together. And he wanted to show me what he was doing, his business. We went there, and Abi, I'm telling you, I almost had tears in my eyes because of how much respect everybody gave him. And it had nothing to do with me. One guy came in. Lance is sitting, we're sitting like this with the guy that had the dealership here. And all these expensive cars there. I think if you look, we're not on Facebook, we are on Facebook together, aren't we? Maybe not.
I think so.
Okay, I think we are. Then maybe it's not, but I put a post and stuff of all the cars around because they have tons of these high-end cars. So we were talking to the guy that had the dealership, and Lance saw a guy come in with 2 Chinese guys, or 2 Asians. We didn't know if they were Chinese or not. And Lance says, Ahmad, with his back to him. And the guy goes like this. He said, Lance! He comes over to my son, and they hug and stuff. And Lance said, this is my father. And he said, nice to meet you, Mr. Lee. And didn't want to have anything to do with me. He just went over and talked. He said, Lance, I'm with 2 customers right now, and I'll get right back with you. He went over there. Then he comes back 5 minutes later and said, Lance, I want you to meet these guys.
Oh, nice.
Lance had so much personality going on, so much, and it was all sincere.
Nice.
That made me feel
nice.
so proud.
Well, that's good.
I felt so proud.
That's
Man,
really good.
he went over there, and I said, man, I could see what he loved about the place, but it's like Las Vegas on steroids.
Oh, yes.
Dubai. So I said, I got it in 3 days, but we stayed, I think, for 5. But I got it. I said, Lance, I understand the place. I got it. Because it was like on steroids. But I said, next time we come, let's go. And he said the sheik's son, one of his sons, wasn't there. He was in England at the time. And he called Lance. He said, I'm sorry, man, I'm not there right now. I didn't know you were coming, such and such. And I said, no problem. So next time, he said, we'll go there and say, Dad, I'm going to show you the real area. Real deal. But we went there, and I said, yeah, Lance, I want to see some of these tigers and stuff, and I want to see some of these palaces. And all the guys buy tigers. Just like in Texas, everybody has a tiger.
A tiger, yeah. I think there are more tigers outside
in Texas than any other country
than in the wild.
In the
right?
world, that's right. So, but I think the Arabs are catching up.
Catching
already
up,
there.
right.
I started the craze, and then the Texans said, we got to be bigger and better. Shoot. Man,
wow.
This is good. So I'm going to take these home and do this, man. I'm going to work on this. So what are you going to do from now? What are you doing from now on? I mean,
well, for me, I parked in the machine, but I've got 3 companies I'm working with. So officially, this is called Tropical Fruits Export, this company, but their brand is Selvatica. This is what this brand is. So I've got the Selvatica brand I'm taking care of here. And then the next company I'm working with is the snack company for these things, which is called Tropic Max. Okay. So I'm working with those guys. And then the last company that I'm importing for, and we're doing our first container next month, is a company called Kiwa. And they're huge in Ecuador. Am I correct to say that I think they are similar to Amazon in Ecuador. They've launched sort of a similar service to Amazon Fresh, and they do foods, and which is a huge company. And I've been courting them now for going on 8 years, and we finally decided to go ahead with the deal during this pandemic.
Right.
So actually it worked out well for me. And the first containers come next month, and it's a snack company, but their products are vegetable based. So, I mean, parsnips, beetroots. They got different mixes. They do cassava, but we can't import cassava here in Japan.
Why
And
not?
cassava's got cyanide. It's got a level of cyanide that is not permitted here in Japan.
What do they use cassava for? I mean, cassava's a fruit.
Cassava is not. It's people eat cassava, like in well, in West Africa we grate it down into what's called gari, and then we make it's like a paste. It's like a mashed potato. Yeah, we make it out of cassava. We do that with yams.
It looks like a yam? Cassava.
Yes, yeah. Basically, it looks like a yam. It's
I've never seen a cassava, I don't think.
It's it's a tube.
Okay.
It's in tubular form. It's like a potato, but big, long. It's got a really hard brown skin on it.
Is it sold in the U.S. too?
You can get it in the U.S. Yeah, you can get it in any other country apart from Japan.
Really I've never heard of cassava.
Well, we can't bring them in.
No, but not just. Well, I've been here all of my adult life, but I mean in the U.S.
Cassava? Yeah, cassava. Yeah. In South America, it's called yucca, mandioca.
Okay.
Yeah, and if I could bring it into Japan, people would probably hunt me down and kill me for it.
They like that.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is it also sweet, kind of a sweet?
No, it's an ethnic-based food. So if you're non-Latin American and non-African, you've never really had any need to eat it.
How's it prepared?
Just like you would prepare like a yam.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you eat it like that too?
You would eat it like that, yeah.
Inside, leave the peel.
You would peel it. No, you don't need the peel. You would peel it.
No, I'm saying you would
boil
eat
it
it like a potato. You just
inside. Yeah,
but a
you
potato
inside
actually
it,
can
right.
eat everything.
That's true, but not with cassava, because
Okay.
the cassava's peel is made to dissuade animals from eating it.
So that's
why
the
the cyanide comes into it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Because I was doing this book right now, too. I was thinking of the Carnivorous Diet, and he's talking about why it's good to eat meat versus plants, because they have a built-in mechanism to kill.
That's right.
Any animal trying to eat. So that's why you shouldn't eat too much of it. So if you
it depends on what.
But they say that spinach smoothie takes on a whole different.
Spinach smoothie.
If you put, people do that. They put in spinach and put in a lot of
Sure.
stuff. He said if you understand the different chemicals that are in there to protect itself, it's not good for you. And I'm going, wait just a minute. And then I'm getting confused because I'm thinking all these people becoming vegetarians versus this and that. I've come to the conclusion, which I would have anyway, there's a balance you try to find that works for you.
It's a balance, and it's also an environmental thing as well. So
where you are, you mean, or what you grew up with?
Each human being has an impact on the environment.
Okay.
Regardless. Even a person that's most conscientious about environmental impact still has an impact. Whatever you do has an impact, right? So, if you eat meat, that meat that's got a certain environmental impact to produce. Yeah, everything. Literally, you drink whatever you do has an impact, right?
So just being alive is an impact.
Yes, there's an impact
itself.
itself.
For a while, you have an impact.
Even when you die, there's an impact, right? There's an environmental cost to it. So I guess
I like you know what I like about that. Every time I talk with someone, I get some fruit of knowledge. Like I said, others. I like that. What you're telling me right now, I've never thought of it in that way. The fact of you just existing.
It's an impact.
Yeah.
It's an impact. Yeah.
I like that.
And I often wonder how many people can the Earth actually support.
I think more than we even could imagine. I don't think because the Earth is a living entity.
Yeah, but not at the way we're doing things at the moment.
Okay, you know what I think about it?
Yeah.
The Earth, because we want to think of it's inanimate. We want to think that. I think it's a source. It's an energy source. When it gets tired,
Well,
Let me tell you,
it will thin us out, right?
the same way it did the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a meteor. That could have just been volcanoes.
Yeah.
You can only survive. You can't deal with the toxicities.
No.
And we think our atomic bombs, not close to what the Earth could do if it shot off Mount Fuji and all the other, or just start popping up. There was nothing we could. There's no hole we could go in deep in. Nothing you can do.
We're so fragile.
And we don't want to think that.
Yeah.
That's why I always say we like to say that man create this. Man does not create a thing.
We don't create
All
a
we
thing,
do is change the way things look.
Yeah.
We didn't create plastic. It was always here.
Yeah.
We formulated a formula and something, and then
Yeah.
we create. You didn't create a dog. It's always been here,
Yeah.
but we put it in such a way.
Sure.
The same way a bird does not create a nest. He takes straw and moves, and then you see a nest. But the material was always there.
It's all here. Yeah.
If man can create something, rub your fingers together and make a grain of sand without any elements being there. Then I'd say you did something.
Yeah.
Or just put your hand out and make a grain come in there.
It's not happening.
Not going to happen.
Yeah.
So but I like that. The
Yeah.
impact, you have an impact as long as...
I mean, you can eat vegetables all you want, and don't get me wrong, it's the way to go. But
Only vegetables?
no, not just only vegetables. But you can. I'll take that back.
Okay.
You can eat a healthy diet and have a balanced diet.
What is balance for you?
Well, a mixture of. Well, mostly vegetable-sourced food products.
Okay.
But let me finish though.
Okay.
With a adequate amount of protein. Now, the question is, what source of protein is that? You know, is that vegetable? Is that plant-based or is that animal-based? I mean, like I like eggs, I like chicken, but I'll be honest with you. I know that they have an impact. I mean, I can't remember where we were. We were cycling in Kyushu a few weeks ago, and we cycled past a place where they were rearing chickens. They were producing eggs.
Okay. In Chiba?
No, this is in Kyushu.
In Kyushu, I'm sorry.
Kyushu. And, you know...
Cycling?
Yeah, we went on a cycling tour.
Wait, who? You and your family?
Yeah, Shimanami Kaido, where you go over these bridges.
Wait, how'd you get there? Ferry?
Well, you go from Tokyo, you go by Shinkansen.
Okay.
And then you pick up some bikes.
Okay.
And then you cycle. It's about 90K.
All right.
We did it over 2 days
What
with the
month
kids.
was this?
This was last month. So what are we now? October. Yeah. This is in October.
In October, you went
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
For how long?
About 4 nights, 5 days.
And you stayed in
yeah.
Ryokan, or did you stay in a hotel?
We stayed in a spattering. So we stayed in an outdoor sort of igloo type glamping tent.
Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you had to put that up each time?
No, we didn't put it up. No. That was already set up.
Wait, so
it's called a glamping, right?
Glamping, yeah. Because it depends on how glamorous it is.
Sure. It was glamorous enough.
It could have been camping.
It was glamorous to keep you warm. At night time it's cold, but
It's
you know
only
it's
called
nice and
glamping
warm.
if
Yeah.
you have amenities that you wouldn't have when you're regularly camping. That's
That's
what they call
called-
it glamping.
yeah, that's
like
right.
you have a little sink there, and you have a little shower.
Well,
and
there
that kind of
wasn't
stuff, and that's
inside
glamping. From what
the
I understand.
inside the accommodation. There weren't any toilets or showers. You had to go to a different place for.
Oh, so you were like in a trailer home, something like that. Was it?
No, it wasn't a
tent?
trailer. No, it was a
tent.
tent. It was tent.
Okay,
Full on tent. Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought glamping.
It was comfortable.
I'll check it, but I think glamping is when it's a little more.
Oh
you
yeah,
have
it's way more.
creature-
It's
you have
way
more
more. Yeah.
creature amenities.
Absolutely.
It's not like the
You-
camping. I
You're
grew up
not.
with.
You're not setting
You
up a
put the
tent.
tent- you
No,
put the
no,
post
no,
in
no,
there,
no.
And you worry about a bear coming out.
Ah,
and
no,
strapping
no,
it
no,
back.
none of that. None of
Okay.
that. No, we're not doing
All
that.
right.
My kids won't go.
No. We're not putting up nothing.
No.
And we're getting tired of pumping this.
That is not
Where's
happening.
the motor?
But trust me, I'm not dragging them on that trip either. But to come back to my story, it's the first time I smelt chicken poop
Okay. Your first time you'd ever smelled chicken poop.
since I lived in Africa.
Okay. So you knew what it was.
So I knew what it was, and my daughter was saying to me, "My
And it
God,
smells-
that
It
stinks."
smells different than cow manure because
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
acidic.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
they use that as a mixture because I had a friend.
Yes.
Listen, when I was in the Air Force, a friend of mine, his name was Cunningham. And I said, what do you do? He said, well, we sell chicken shit. I said,
Okay.
no, listen, I'm 19 years old. I said, man, don't play with me. He said, no. So he showed me a picture, and they had this big barn that you could see from the top, and it had on there, Cunningham's chicken shit. Because they use it for fertilizer.
Absolutely. It's one of some of the best
I
fertilizers.
said, man,
Yeah.
you learn something every day, but go on.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You said the first time you smelled since you left Nigeria.
Since I left Nigeria, you know, like the poultry business, and my daughter was like, oh man, that stinks. And I was like, I pulled my brakes, came to a screeching halt and said, without that smell, you don't get eggs, you don't get chicken, right? Yeah, because you think about, you bring your kids up in an amazing city like Tokyo, right?
Yeah.
They have no idea where their food comes from, right? So your food, part of that nicely wrapped chicken breast in the in the store,
in the deli, right?
Right?
Well, you came from there.
That's without that smell, that doesn't get there.
That's true.
Right? If you want an omelette, when you go to your Four Seasons hotel and you go for brunch in the morning, you ask for an omelette. Without that smell, you don't get that. You know, and it's Anyway,
so you went through all that. So how they respond?
I try to explain to my kids. Well, they get it, but they don't get it.
I don't think but the thing is, Abi, I think that you do that all the time. Because that's how you've raised your kids, so they know what they say. Okay, they probably do this. They start thinking, here it comes again. So Dad's about to tell us.
That's right.
How does your wife respond?
That
How
happens.
does your wife respond to it?
Oh no, my wife's lock, stock, and barrel with me. Yeah,
I know she is.
Yeah,
I know
because she gets it.
Does she chime?
Oh,
in
she lets me just
do your thing.
Go on, and then my eldest daughter always says to me, "Oh yes. This is where Daddy tells us when he was in Africa."
That's how she does it.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
But I can see, I can see it in your youngest eyes, because she's different than the older one. Your older one, she was just pure. When I say pure, she didn't have an older sibling. That's what does it.
My oldest one, basically, we figured it out. She's European.
But she didn't grow up in Europe.
No, but when you put the two of them together, my oldest one is European and my youngest one is African.
The youngest one's sassy. No,
seriously, she's African. She breathes. She's like a dragon when she fires coming out of her mouth.
But the thing is, she knows when she's dealing with authority, and she won't challenge it.
Oh,
she's respectful.
She wants people to toe the line. You do
what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
If I came, and she does this.
Yeah.
Listen, I can tell you, I know both of them.
Yeah, so, but my eldest would never do that.
Never, because she understands what that would imply.
Yeah.
But youngest goes like this. But your youngest only does that if she likes the person.
She knows. Yes.
Because she wouldn't do that with someone else.
She knows there's a relationship going.
If she didn't know that, because I can see that, and I say, "What are you doing? Was that supposed to me?" And she'll laugh at me, and she goes, and then she thinks, well, he's okay, Mr. Lee's on. And I can see that, and I love kids like that.
But she's African.
Is that right?
And my oldest one, she's more European.
That's it. You know, it's funny. My wife and I used to sit down and talk about what each one of our sons were, and how we saw them, and we were pretty dead on. And when they were young.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when they got up.
I have to say, your boys are amazing.
Oh, man. I was telling someone this morning that when I was an investment consultant, when I was in the service, and as soon as I got out, I continued as an investment consultant. The president of the company came to me because I was doing quite well. I was selling quite a bit, mutual funds, debentures. I shouldn't say mutual funds, but I was selling real estate. I sold insurance, and I helped people basically financially plan their futures.
Okay.
Especially if they were in the service and didn't know what they were going to do when they were going to get out.
Sure.
And I tell them there's only two things to create capital. That's a person at work or their money at work. And one day you're going to get too old to work, so you want to make sure your money's out there working for you. So that's how I did it. He said, Lance, you're good as a salesman, but you'll never know how good a salesman you are until you have kids.
Sure.
And I didn't know what he was talking about.
That's right.
I said, what do you mean?
I get that.
I'm a good father. And it's just not. And I taught so many kids, I thought I was the best teacher in the world. Then I had my sons, and it started to hit me. I don't know what in the world I was. How dare me try to tell parents how to parent? When it's a guess every day because you're dealing with a different personality. You're dealing with so many different
That's true.
people that might be influencing your child.
That's right.
And the real truth is, it's like, I use the analogy of having a fly in a jar, and it feels like it's a small space. And let's say your fly had a consciousness, and you want to still, but you control it while it's in that small jar. But you want to make it feel like it has more freedom. Open up the jar in this room. It thinks, wow.
Wow.
And the only way you can do that with your kids is to make sure you have an influence that's brighter. Like I said, my son going to Dubai. I know people in Dubai. You know, it's just, you want to make sure you have that kind of influence too, I think. But the people that are going to really influence your children are their peer, not the parents.
It's not really
They
the
want
parents,
to, like we did. You want to dress like your peer. You want to talk like your peer.
Yes.
You want to do what they're doing.
We've had this conversation before,
Yeah.
and it's stuck with me.
That's so true. It's your peer,
but
we can control who their peer are.
We can control that, and
Are they young?
and they are looking at you every day.
Aren't they?
Yeah, they observe you every day.
It's not what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's what your actions are.
They watch you. They watch you like a hawk.
That's why I always say that.
Yeah.
I was saying this to the guy too. The parents will come to me sometime and go, Mr. Lee, my kids never seem to have any energy. I just don't understand why.
Wow.
I say, have you ever looked in the mirror? You know how you look at you. What do your kids are going to emulate what they see. Your kids aren't your future. Your kids represent your past. Because all you can teach them is what you already know. But what you represent to your kids is their possible future. So you owe it to them, but most of all to yourself, to be all you can be to show them what's possible.
What's possible, yeah. You got to show them what's possible.
Setting that bar up there. You keep on doing that, so that, and you have to have a reason to do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're sitting around going, I wonder why he has no energy.
Oh, wow.
He never wants to do anything. I'm here sitting here all day watching TV, and I wonder why he never wants to do anything. What do you think? Why? You're the example he's trying to follow.
Yeah.
He loves you, or she loves you. But anyway, we go.
But they watch you like a hawk, and so
especially girls. See,
yeah.
I wasn't fortunate or unfortunate enough to have girls. So my path only became like this. I had to become more strict in a different kind of way. I like to say, because in this new age of gender identity and everything else, it's hard to say anything, but I'm just going to come out the way I grew up. I have to act more like a male and strict to keep him. I have to be the lion of this den. I have to be the alpha male that's up there. All of these guys are alpha, but I have to be the ultra alpha because they challenge you every doggone second.
Yeah, well, girls
they look at you. So when they come to you and say, Dad, I have to look at them and say, yo, wait, hold your roll. And I want to make sure they hear it too, so I don't have to do it 3 more times.
Sure.
But they will challenge you verbally first.
Yes.
I had one of them one time come to me and say, Dad, the only reason why I do what you say is because you're stronger than me.
Well, that actually, for me, I'm like...
You raised girls, so you're cool and calm.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
Well, no,
yeah.
See,
in Africa, if you're not strong, you're in big trouble.
No, anywhere, you lose respect.
You may not be around for long.
No, but I took it differently, and I guess it's because of being an alpha. When he said that, I'm thinking, you'd be physical with me? Because the only thing I ever did to my sons was pinch them when they're small, with an explanation, before or after the pinch, right? But I've never used my hand on them to hit them. Because I said, if I did, you wouldn't be here.
No, I mean,
and just wouldn't be here. But you understand what I'm saying? See, you act so much, you don't realize it, Abi. You act so much like a man that's raising girls.
Well, yeah, I saw that guy.
And that's why you say, because they're no challenge to you on a physical plane.
No physical plane, no.
Listen, I get upset. The reason why I've lost weight and trying to get it so you can see my six-pack, because my boys come over, take off their shirt, walk around. I said, boy, look, put that, and they just poop. Got the, I said, well, hold it. No, this is my house.
All right, well.
Put that shirt back on and get some pants on. That might be your mother, but this is my house. I say that, I'm just joking. But
still,
they're lean and mean and look good. And I came in one time to work out with one of my sons and went through the routine. I'll be honest, I couldn't get out of bed the next day. It hurt me.
Yeah, sure.
These muscles won't respond. They're not as flexible as they
these
used to be.
shoulders don't work as well.
But I know guys, one of my good friends, he has 3 daughters. And he told me one of the best ways to deal with my wife. I said, man, dude, you got 4 women in your house. I don't know if I want to say this right now, but he said one of the best ways is to act like you're seriously listening, but don't say anything. He said, because once you do that, and don't try to solve anybody's problems. He said, if you do that, it's good. Don't do it. And I started doing it, and it started working for me.
If I'm honest, I mean, from the influence from my mom.
How many kids how many siblings you have?
I've got 5.
And what number are you?
Number 3.
Oh, so you're well in the middle, man. So you could have been ignored.
But basically, I was for the most part, yeah.
The first one caught hell as all.
No, the first one was spoiled rotten.
Was it a male?
No.
That's a girl.
Yeah,
but the second one?
Sister. He had a hard. He had more. He had a lot of responsibilities.
But I guess in your family, the girls are, taken differently. But if he'd been the first son,
it would have been different. Right?
That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
In Japan, they cherish having boys over in Asia.
Yeah.
Than girls.
Same thing in Africa too.
Yeah. But the boy, the first, has to toe the line. That's who you talk with.
Yeah, he had a lot of responsibilities,
Didn't he?
which
and
was
you sat behind him, so you could sit back and just watch.
Which is quite unfair.
But still, it's the way it is.
But it was just the way,
It's
unfortunately,
yeah.
But I've always championed, I like the fact that the ladies in my house, they know what they want when they want it. They are not shy to voice their opinion. Yeah. For me, I'm so laid back and laissez-faire. It's fine. In fact, sometimes I'm actually even annoyed when people say we don't know what we're gonna do. That kind of irritates me. Like, really?
What do you mean they don't know? Who
your family? Yeah. If they ask me, oh, what should we do? What do you think? I'm at this stage now where I find it irritating. Like, really? I expect you to have figured it out, decided everything. I just want to hear what we're doing. I don't want to be. Because I'm good. If they make, look, there are 4 of us. It's 3. It's 3 to 1. You can vote all you want.
Right, but you're not gonna win.
It's not going to win.
So you learned to stop. So you stopped a long time ago. But you probably started planning stuff, and then someone didn't like it, and you said, okay. So now you sit back and you want to know what you can do, and you take them, and you're the guardian. All you're the protector.
Yeah, I'm good.
See,
and they make good decisions. But the thing is,
because you learn to go along with it. You can't have any.
But they make good. But they make good. No, in all fairness, they make great decisions. And so it's like, well, stop asking me.
Yeah, right.
You guys figure it out. Just give me dates.
And let's do it.
Yeah, and let's go for it. Just give me dates so I can plan ahead in advance.
Did they plan that bike trip?
Yeah.
Who? Which one? Who planned it?
Oh, my wife.
So she's basically the head.
She's the head, and she's the queen. And
she
then
says, "This is what we're going to do," and the girls are
and the girls all fall in line nicely.
And you back it up.
And they fall in line or they tweak it. So she could tweak a little bit. And they kick down a little bit of information to me, but. I know that there's no point in really getting too involved because it's just like
because it gets shot down because you planned it.
Pretty much, yeah.
And it can be the same thing they want to do. Say, I want to ride bikes.
Oh, yeah.
Go out here, and they say, nah. Let's go climb.
But it is what it is. It's like, and I've just learned.
That's kind of why I wanted to have girls because it would have shown my tender side.
Yeah.
I've never gotten a chance to do it.
We men are always running around deciding everything, and and we don't always make the best decisions, right? I think I make great decisions, but so I'm good, and I fall in line, and I lean into it. It's great,
we have a great family too.
Yeah. So I was like, whatever, it's good.
Isn't that good?
Yeah, it's fine. I know 100 other things that would be way worse than that. So you know.
That's true. So that's why you get annoyed when they sit down and say, I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah, I
That
just
bothers you.
for me that's like really.
So you
Really?
throw things out there, but you're not making any plans. Like you might say, well, what about this or this? and
Well,
that?
I
And you
try and
let them run with it.
seed our
Right, seed, I
ideas
got
in there,
you,
but
okay.
what catches or what doesn't
it's
catch,
either
it's
or,
fine.
so
Yeah,
good.
because yeah,
That would be an interesting way to go.
yeah.
And
You
but
probably
But doesn't that help you also when you're dealing with people? Because that attitude, you say whatever's going to be is going to be. You kind of.
in a weird sense, like in Japan, I find like a lot like I need a lot of third party partners to make this happen.
To make it happen. Okay.
Warehousing, logistics, etc.
They can.
And when I initially meet them, they are like, "Oh, we don't know if we want to
Deal with with another. I got
really,
you.
we've never done this before." So all of these partners, they've never done this type of thing before with the type of person I am. But actually, it's an advantage because my attitude is like, okay, contract this, everything's out. They expect you to come in and be, hitting the wall and with your fist and be really pushy and all this. And they actually find out I'm exactly the opposite.
Yeah, say, look, this is not. But I tell you, that's how I did my scanner business.
Yes.
That's the way I went.
And I often tell them that I'm really honored that you are actually considering my proposal. So, whatever we end up deciding on, that's great. But just the fact that we're sitting here and we're discussing it, I thank you very much. And and so yeah, I've kept all my third party Kai's now 8 years running. Yeah, no problem. It's nice and sweet. So for me, it just works here in Japan. So it's like
and once they're in with you, that's the deal. See, mine was.
And you get your invoices and you.
That's right.
You settle the invoices right away. You're good to go.
Mine was. Doing the scanners, I had to go to different hospitals each time. And
Okay.
But I had a group I was just thinking about the other day. I had about 40 different people working with me, but it would be like a team of people that helped me deinstall here and here and here. And I told you how I did mine, where I never said I was the president. I always said I was
yes, that's right.
because it was easier to get stuff done. And it just worked like a charm. But there was so much money involved in it. That was the big thing. There was so much money. And then I made a mistake. Did you ever see American Gangster with Denzel Washington?
Yes, that's
and you remember,
ago,
okay, you saw it
watch
ages
it,
ago.
yeah.
But there was a part in there that I felt was what happened to me. He goes to a boxing match with a chinchilla hat and coat. Now that's more expensive than mink. And he didn't like being loud or being showy. He wore that to this thing. No one else had it on because his wife gave it to him as a gift. And he really didn't want to do it, but he did. That's what drew the detective's attention to him. Whereas before, he'd gone without being really noticed. Because no one ever thought he could do it. I pulled up to one of the jobs, because it was around the corner from me, in one of my cars that I shouldn't have been in. And it caused one of my longest deinstallers to ask me. And I never lied to them. I could be whatever I want to be. Let me sit. Are you the president of this company? And I went, and I brought an ambassador's wife with me too, because she wanted to see the deinstallation, because we'd become friends. And I brought her in the car, and she was wearing a mink. It's not the mink that did it, it was the car that did it. And I went, and I knew right then that was the beginning of the end.
For the record, what car was it?
It was a Bentley.
Oh.
And I was in my suit, and I shouldn't have come up in the Bentley. And I knew it because I kept it. And he asked me if I owned the company. Once I said yes. I just knew, and it just became everything. It didn't happen that fast.
Right, but it began to unravel.
Why should they deal with me? I'm going to Japanese hospital. Yours is different. You're coming from outside, coming in. I was taking from inside to go out. So why couldn't they do it? Because they didn't know the channels. They could develop the channels. And a few people were trying to. I went to one guy in Kyushu, picked me up in his 7 Series Mercedes, and I had 2 companies. One that I shipped the equipment out with that had a name, let's say B, and one that picked up the equipment called A. This guy gets me in the car, has me and my assistant with me, who translated for me, Mika.
Oh, okay.
She was with me, and I'm sitting in the front seat, Mercedes with the guy driving me around. He's going to take me to see the unit, and he was trying to do the same thing I was doing. He said, there's this company talking about B, because he only knew A, that is cleaning the market up.
Oh, damn.
He didn't know he was talking about me. And I said, is that right? What am I? He said, I don't know anything, but I just know they're doing more scanners than anyone else. And I want to get to know them. And he shows me in this barn, this old rusty scanner. See, I knew it better than anyone because I went to the States and studied, and had them. When I went there, anyway, I could tell the whole. That was not, the whole story was just.
But is that business still ongoing now?
No,
or is that
I
that's
sold
all?
it.
No, but I'm saying, but is the industry still?
Well, the industry I think has stopped because what the manufacturers started doing is they stopped selling it to hospitals, stopped selling or leasing.
The leasing,
well, they used to lease. And I was tied up with the leasing companies, but they don't want third party vendors. So unless you're tied in with the manufacturer, and they want you to take their used equipment, but I was at a stage where they were throwing these things away and using the parts sometimes to give to, hospitals at a high thing. It sounds new because you didn't know. You don't know the interior of the units. You don't know what a detector looks like. You don't know you don't know any of that. The processors that they put and charge them millions and millions a year for stuff that could be used. And if it went out, they say, "Oh, okay, here's another one. We'll just give you." I knew what was going on, so I was taking them out of the country. But now they have it so linked in, just like your cars. You can't even get into it without the tools they have and the diagnostics they have.
And it's all proprietary software.
They've made it so they've eliminated any third party unless they want you to be part of it.
Yes.
So and when I first went into the market, the major companies, I made sure all of them knew who I was and they knew I owned the company. And they said, it'll never happen in Japan because we don't deal with used equipment. I said, fine, I'm not, and you can't sell in Japan. I said, I don't want to sell in Japan. I want to take the units out and sell over here. And they were laughing at me as if you're taking this junk because it was before the bubble. And they're thinking, they were selling these for millions of dollars. So was I. Because they took good care of it. It's like taking a Rolls Royce, keep it in mint condition, selling to a company that can't afford a brand new Rolls Royce, but they can afford this one. Because they have a new series each time.
Right.
And boom, 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 boom. And it was just beautiful. I loved that business. It was good. But it created some challenges. But it was like, it was just a cycle that just went on and on and on and on. So I enjoyed that.
But I mean, with the internet these days, I mean, being third party now is pretty tough.
It's difficult. You have to think. You have to think differently now.
There's far too much data and information out there.
Ways for them to control their product without having to be there.
Right.
They just make it so that they put a chip in it or whatever, so you can't sell the camera unless you can fix it.
That's right.
But we had people that actually did refurbishing. Okay. So I take it out and they said, it's like you're selling, give us brand new stuff. And they also used to get fascinated with how the Japanese created it. They said, you put so much lumber in this bad boy to make sure it doesn't move that we could start a lumber factory. They said no one, and I would have it clean so it looked like it was new. You know, the outside is made out of plastic like this table is.
Right.
And we'd take this Magic Clean, spray it, and then I'd put my seal on it. So my logo went up, which was a different company, boom, to go out. So you'd see my stuff, and you probably in the States now, you still see the stuff.
I've always, I mean, I don't have the time now, but I've always wished I could source something from Japan and sell abroad.
You still can do it. Listen, time is just a matter. Once you set your mind on it.
Because the quality.
And you know, see the thing is, you know what I used to do? Before videoing was really popular, I would video record it being created. I video me deinstalling it. So if they had any claims, because I knew my stuff was good, and I stopped doing letters of credit. Because I said, look, I know how much my business was like this, like the diamond business, where it's a handshake. You can screw me once.
Just once on.
And then you're out of the circle. That's all. I was the only black guy that was doing the business. Everybody else worked for somebody that was doing the business. I go to the conventions we have in Chicago, and I'd take one of my guys with me, and I'd have Japan, Lance, Lee. So they thought I was mixed. They thought I couldn't speak English, because I'd tell my staff, we're only speaking in Japanese when we get in front of each booth. But they got to know me. They knew who I was. They'd ask if my staff could speak English. I said, probably better than you. And they did. So anyway, but we would listen, that's a whole nother story, but I loved it. I loved doing it, and I'd go there and just had a ball. It was fantastic. I enjoyed doing that business. But it led to a lot of other things. And I think I held on to it a little bit too long because it was hard to let go.
Sure.
It's kind of like being the president of this club. It was it's hard to let go when you have that kind of notoriety and when you like people and you feel you're doing the best for them. But I like your statement about having an impact. Everyone does. And all of us are just as expendable.
Yeah.
As we're, and we all think that it's that room with a jello mold in it. And each person, there's 5 guys, and they're all given a bat to go in there and to see how much change they can make. So they go in there and they're all hitting this jello, and it's just flopping all over the place, and they're excited about all the change they're making. As soon as they put down their bats and walk out, what do you think the jello does? Goes right back to the same position it was in before. Goes right back in the same position. So that's what life is like. We think we're making a big difference, but it lasts for a couple of years.
Yeah.
You'll have Victor Records, and you'll have these different motor companies, and you'll have all these people that are doing different things, but it all changes in a period of time. So I think you're just trying to sit back and be the way you are.
Yeah.
Just chill, enjoy it, make your little impact.
Yeah, make your little impact. Take care of the,
and do what you can do.
Your surroundings and
That's what it is. Now, listen, I want to thank you again. Let me see.
Holy moly.
We did more than an hour.
Yeah.
Listen, Abi, thank you so much for spending the time with me.
You're welcome.
Talking with me. And this won't be the last time. We're going to do it again. I'm going to eat these and tell you what my experience is like.
YouTube it.
It's just me there.
Yeah. And
I'll YouTube it and figure out how to do it,
And I keep you in the loop regards to my next product.
That'd be great, let's do another. Let's do another podcast and talk about it, because you never know who's going to see it. I was telling a friend that is writing a book. I said, then you need to talk to people the same way I encourage you to join the club. If you don't plant the seed, how do you expect anything to grow?
That's true. Yeah.
We've got to get out there in the ether.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Let people know we're doing things.
That's true.
And that's why I'm trying to gather as many people that I know, that I like, and some people I don't like, but still, but get them together and
we will have a few of those
and make it happen. But again, Abi, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah. It's a pleasure.